I was not born special. I was not born rich. I was not born confident. I was born ordinary in a small city called Hangzhou, China, at a time when China itself was poor, closed, and struggling to find its place in the world. My name's Jack Ma. And before the world knew me as a billionaire, an entrepreneur, or the founder of Alibaba, the world knew me as a failure. And today, I want to tell you my story, not as a businessman, but as a human being. Because success did not begin with Alibaba. Success began the day I decided not to quit. When I was a child, I was short, skinny, not good at sports, not good at mathematics, not good at science. In school, I was never the smartest student in the room. In fact, many times, I was the worst. My teachers did not see greatness in me. My classmates did not expect anything from me. And society had already decided where I belonged, nowhere special. But even as a boy, I had something powerful inside me. Every morning, before sunrise, I would ride my bicycle for nearly 40 minutes to a hotel near my home. Why? Because foreign tourists stayed there. I was not asking for money. I was not asking for favors. I was asking for conversation. I wanted to learn English. For 9 years, every single morning, rain or shine, I practiced English with strangers. 9 years of discipline. 9 years of embarrassment. 9 years of rejection when tourists said no. But those mornings changed my life. Because while other children were sleeping, I was building a bridge to the world. School was hard, very hard. I failed my primary school exams twice. I failed my middle school exams 3 times. And when it came to college entrance exams, I failed again and again. On my 3rd attempt, I barely passed. I was accepted into a small teacher's college, not a famous university, not a respected institution. But you know what? I was grateful because failure had already taught me something important. If you don't give up, you still have a chance. After graduating, I became an English teacher. My salary was about $12 a month. $12. But I loved teaching. I loved standing in front of people and sharing ideas. I loved motivating students to believe in themselves. Without knowing it, I was already preparing for my future. Then came the real world. And the real world rejected me brutally. I applied for 30 different jobs. Do you know what happened? I was rejected 30 times. I applied to KFC when it first came to China. 24 people applied. 23 were accepted. I was the only one rejected. I applied to the police force. They said, "You're not good enough." I applied to Harvard University 10 times. Rejected. Every single time.
At some point, people stopped failing because they stopped trying. I kept failing because I kept trying. In 1995, I traveled to the United States for the first time. That trip opened my eyes. For the first time, I saw the internet. I typed a word into the computer. Beer. Results came up from Germany, from Japan, from America. But there was nothing from China. Nothing. That moment changed everything. I realized something powerful. China would be left behind if we did not embrace the internet. I returned home with a vision, but no money, no technology, and no support. My first internet company failed. I lost money. I lost credibility. People laughed. They said, "Jack, the internet is a joke. Jack, you don't understand technology. Jack, stop dreaming." But I had learned something from failure. Failure is feedback, not a verdict. In 1999, in my small apartment, with 18 friends, no investors, and no clear business plan, I said something crazy. Let's build a company that helps small businesses sell to the world. We had no experience, no money, no famous names. All we had was belief. That company was called Alibaba. For the first 3 years, we made no profit. Zero. People said we would die. Then came eBay. Big, powerful, rich. Everyone said, Alibaba will be crushed. But we understood China. We understood small businesses. We understood people. And slowly, painfully, step by step, Alibaba survived. Then it grew. Then it changed everything. But listen to me carefully. My success story is not about Alibaba. It is about this truth. If you are born poor, it is not your fault. But if you die poor, it is your fault because you gave up. I was rejected more times than most people try. I failed more times than most people dare. And that is why I stand here today. If you are watching this on positive motivation, and you feel behind in life, if you feel rejected, if you feel invisible, remember this. The world often rejects people before it rewards them. Your job is not to win early. Your job is to last longer than your excuses. I want you to understand something very clearly. When Alibaba started to grow, people thought my struggles were over. They were wrong. Success does not remove problems. Success changes the size of your problems. As Alibaba grew, pressure grew faster. Every day I woke up with fear. Fear of losing everything. Fear of disappointing my team. Fear that one mistake could destroy years of sacrifice. People think confidence means no fear. No. Confidence means moving forward despite fear. There were nights I could not sleep. We were burning cash. Competitors were watching us. The world did not trust Chinese internet companies. Investors asked questions I could not answer. Journalists waited for us to fail. Even my friends worried. They asked me, Jack, what if this doesn't work? And I answered honestly. Then we try again. Because quitting was never an option. Then came Taobao, our fight for survival. eBay was crushing small sellers with fees. We decided to do something crazy. We said, Taobao will be free. People said, you are insane. You will lose everything. For years, Taobao made no money. But it won trust. And trust is more powerful than profit. Slowly, sellers came. Buyers came. Communities formed. And eBay left China. That moment taught me a lesson I want you to remember. If you want to win, don't compete on money. Compete on heart. But even after victories, criticism followed me everywhere. They said, Jack Ma talks too much. Jack Ma is not a real tech person. Jack Ma is just lucky. Let them talk. Because while they were talking, we were building. I learned early in life. If you care about what everyone says, you will never do anything great. In 2014, Alibaba went public. It became one of the largest IPOs in history. People saw numbers. They saw billions. But I saw something else. I saw the little English teacher who failed exams, who was rejected by jobs, who was laughed at for dreaming. And I smiled. Not because I became rich, but because I did not give up. Let me tell you something important. Money does not make you successful. Resilience does. Talent does not decide your future. Attitude does. I was never the smartest, never the strongest, never the fastest. But I was always willing to stand up one more time. To young people watching this, your 20 seconds are not for comfort. They are for learning. Your 30 seconds are not for showing off. They are for building. Your 40 seconds are for focus. And your 50 seconds are for giving back. Stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. I made many mistakes. I trusted the wrong people. I spoke too openly. I failed publicly. But mistakes are tuition fees for wisdom. If you never fail, you never grow. One day, I stepped back from Alibaba. People asked, why leave when you are at the top? Because life is bigger than business. Because leadership is not about control. It is about creating leaders. Let me leave you with this. If the world rejects you, good. That means you are not ordinary. If life pushes you down, good. That means you have the chance to rise stronger. And if today you feel lost, remember this. Today is hard. Tomorrow will be worse. But the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. Most people quit tomorrow. Don't be most people. I am Jack Ma. I failed more than you tried. And that is why I succeeded. Before I end this story, I want to speak to you not as a billionaire, but as someone who once felt small in a big world. There was a time when I looked at successful people and wondered if I was born in the wrong place, at the wrong time, with the wrong abilities. Maybe you feel that way right now. Let me tell you something no one tells you. Life is unfair. But unfair does not mean impossible. When I was young, I blamed my background. I blamed my country. I blamed my failures. Then one day, I realized something painful, but powerful. No one owes you success. The world does not reward intentions. It rewards persistence. Many people ask me, Jack, what is the secret? There is no secret. There is only discipline, patience, and the courage to continue when nobody is clapping for you. Clapping comes later. Let me be honest. There were moments I wanted to quit. Moments when humiliation felt heavier than hope. Moments when rejection felt personal. But I made a decision early in life. I will never give up easily. Not because I was brave, but because giving up hurts longer than trying again. You see, success is not about winning once. It is about surviving long enough for luck to find you working. Luck does not visit lazy people. Luck respects effort. I was never afraid of failing. I was afraid of regret. Regret of not trying. Regret of living someone else's expectations. Regret of dying with dreams still inside me. Do not let regret become your teacher. When you are young, people tell you to be realistic. I tell you this. Be practical, but never stop being ambitious. The world belongs to people who dare to imagine differently. Some of you watching this are broke. Some are lost. Some are tired. Good. Because hunger builds strength. Confusion builds clarity. And tiredness builds character. Do not escape these moments. Grow through them. I did not win because I was better. I won because I lasted longer. When others rested, I learned. When others complained, I adapted. When others quit, I stayed. That is it. Let me leave you with my final message. If you are struggling today, you are exactly where you need to be. This pain is not punishment. It is preparation. This delay is not denial. It is direction. And this failure is not the end. It is the beginning, if you let it be. Remember me not as a billionaire. Remember me as the boy who failed exams, who was rejected by jobs, who was laughed at for dreaming, and still chose to believe. If I can do it with no money, no power, no connections, so can you. Stand up, try again, and never let the world decide what you are capable of becoming. I am Jack Ma, and this is not the end of my story. It is the proof that yours is just beginning.